A lot of analysis has been given already to the 2024 presidential election. People are trying to figure out what are the themes of this election? What are the issues that people are going to talk about? Or maybe the more simple question that everyone's trying to figure out, what's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Well, today, folks in New York City got their question answered, and boy, was it quite enlightening. What am I talking about? Hold on, folks. We're going to get into all this in just 1 second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Hi, folks. Brian Trippett here, the front porch conservative, and I was wondering if I could ask for your help. My channel is getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you like the content that I'm putting out there, do me a favor, give me a subscription, and help this going little concern of a channel become a going big concern of a channel. And with that, on to the video. The young man you see in this picture is Jonathan Diller. He's 31 years old. In this picture, he's holding his 1-year-old baby boy. A couple of good-looking guys, aren't they? Jonathan Diller was a police officer in New York City. You'll notice that I use the verb was as in past tense. On Monday night, Jonathan Diller was shot and killed during a Queens traffic stop. There were two men inside the car that had just been pulled over. The passenger refused to get out, pointing a gun at the officers. He fired, shooting Jonathan Diller in the torso underneath his bulletproof vest. Jonathan Diller was taken to a hospital nearby and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. Jonathan Diller had been on the New York City police force for 2 years. He leaves behind a grieving wife and a baby boy that will never know his father. That was Monday. Today is Thursday, March 28th, and the wake for Officer Diller was held out in Massapequa, out on Long Island. By invitation, Mayor Eric Adams was there, but also by invitation was former President Donald Trump. And what happened next was somewhat unique. Hundreds of uniformed officers Trump pay their respects at Long Island Funeral Home in wake of slain NYPD cop Jonathan Diller. The next part that I'm going to read is from the Associated Press. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, a Republican, accompanied Trump and told reporters, quote, "It was a tremendous comfort to the family to have Trump visit." Inside the funeral home, Trump spent more than 10 minutes meeting privately with Diller's wife, Stephanie, before joining her in the main viewing room and saying a prayer over the officer's casket, Blakeman said later. Trump then met with the rest of the family, giving his condolences to Diller's mother, siblings, aunts, and uncles, he said. Diller's grandmother asked the former president for a hug, and the family also asked him to write a note on a mass card. Quote, "It was a really good, warm conversation," Blakeman said. "It was all talking about John and what kind of person he was as a father, a son, and a husband. It was not about public policy or anything like that." Trump talked a little bit about what happened after it was over. He was on his plane, getting ready to go back to Mar-a-Lago. I'll play just a few seconds of the comments, so do me a favor, folks, and just check this out.
Very sad event, tragic event, but it's a big one. But I think we have to learn from it. I was telling Stephanie that the wife, who's incredible, a 1-year-old baby, who doesn't know, but his life has been greatly affected by this. But I said something has to come out of it, and the only thing that you could really think that can come out of it that's good is we get stronger and tougher, so this doesn't keep happening. The Diller family is a magnificent family. And we went through, I met the grandmother, I met the mother, I met the wife, I met the finest people. these are the finest people. Stephanie is incredible. I mean, her life is so changed, and just 48 hours ago, their relationship was such a great relationship. I see it, and his relationship to the police force. Leaving, we were driving down a certain road. The line of police was incredible.
Now, a lot of people are prone to say that Trump is given to a lot of hyperbole, and that's not totally an unfair assessment of when he's speaking. But in this case, he's not wrong. The Massapequa area of Long Island has long been a home for New York City police officers and fire department personnel who want to settle down, start families, buy homes. They tend to congregate out in that area. Maybe it's a nice area, it's quiet, it's away from it all. Can't blame them for that. It's a tragedy, really. Last year, over 1,000 police officers in New York City filed for their retirement. They're not even waiting to get to their 20-year pension. They're just getting out. And more, the reason are things like what happened to Jonathan Diller. And in their minds, the disrespect they're getting from the New York City administration, be it Eric Adams, Bill de Blasio, or whoever else. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. Now, normally with Donald Trump, you get a lot of hoopla and fanfare. That's Trump. This is one of those occasions where he was very understated. Came in, gave his condolences, tried to encourage where he could, walked out. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that his going up there was absent from politics? Of course not. There's always some political calculation in any politician. Doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden or anybody. Am I going to say that this was absent from all that? Of course not. There was some political calculus in what he was doing. That's probably pretty cynical of me to say and pretty awful of me to say. But that is a distinct possibility and probably a reality. But regardless, he was invited, he went, he offered his condolences, and left. Interestingly enough, Joe Biden was also in New York City today. What was he doing? Well, check this out. Biden fundraiser with past presidents Obama and Clinton nets record $25 million, campaign says. Article written by the Associated Press. A fundraiser for President Joe Biden on Thursday in New York City also stars Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and is raising a whopping $25 million, setting a record for the biggest haul for a political event, his campaign said. The eye-popping amount was a major show of Democrat support for Biden at a time when he's persistently low poll numbers. The president will test the power of his campaign cash as he faces off with presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump, who already proved in 2016 win over Hillary Clinton he didn't need to raise the most money to seize the presidency. The Radio City Music Hall event will be a gilded exclamation mark on a recent burst of presidential campaign travel. Biden has visited several political battlegrounds in the last 3 weeks. The hours-long event has different tiers of access depending on donors' generosity. The centerpiece is an onstage conversation with the three presidents moderated by late-night talk show host Stephen Colbert. There's also a lineup of musical performers, Queen Latifah, Lizzo, Ben Platt, Cynthia Erivo, and Leah Michele, that will be hosted by actress Mindy Kaling. Thousands are expected, and tickets are as low as $225. More money gets donors more intimate time with the presidents. A photo with all three is $100,000. A donation of $250,000 earns donors access to one reception, and if you give $500,000, you get an even more exclusive gathering. But the party doesn't stop there, according to the campaign. First Lady Jill Biden and DJ D Nice are hosting an after party at Radio City Music Hall with 500 guests. Now, Biden, and more say his staff, did have some things to say about Officer Diller's event. But by the way, here's a poster that advertised this an evening with Joe Biden. This is from the New York Post. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters on Air Force One that Biden spoke with Adams, the mayor of New York City, by phone to express his condolences for Diller's death. But she did not say if the president called the officer's family. Quote, "Our hearts go out, obviously, to the officer's family and the broader NYPD family who have tragically lost one of their own. The president grieves for them and honors their sacrifice," Jean-Pierre said. The president's campaign declined to comment on the record about the president's public silence, but did issue a press release hailing the celebrity gala as, quote, "the most successful political fundraiser in American history." Two presidents, two different sets of activity. Now, to be fair, having worked a little bit in political campaigning, what feels like a lifetime ago, when you set up something like what they did in New York City, it is an absolute logistical gargantuan task. It's almost like turning an aircraft carrier around in the middle of the ocean. You can do it, but it doesn't move fast. A lot of people criticize the Biden campaign for going forward with this. Maybe they couldn't stop it. Maybe the logistics were such that with everything that was in the works and all the plans and everything else, they couldn't delay it. Maybe they could have. But regardless of whether they could or could not delay it, they did go forward with it. And what they're going to get out of this is more than what they bargained for. Oh, they're going to raise the $25 million. I don't doubt that at all. But on the other hand, the people of New York City and New York State watched three presidents hold a spectacular fundraising gala in downtown Manhattan at Radio City Music Hall that featured every major celebrity in the New York City area and some from Hollywood. All kinds of big time to doing. Talk about the rubber chicken circuit. This is the rubber chicken circuit with gold plates, baby. Probably drinking Cristal champagne. Who knows? It was a highfalutin affair. On the other hand, you had another president out on Long Island going to the wake of a slain police officer. The contrast is stark, and the people of New York City are watching. Now, maybe Biden did contact Stephanie Diller, the widow of Jonathan, but nothing is said about it, which, from my perspective, if he did make the call, I'm going to be a little surprised that the press secretary wouldn't say something about it, as a press secretary is always trying to make her boss look good. Doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. So if the call got made, I figured that Jean-Pierre would have said something about it. Yet she didn't. Maybe Biden had his motivations for doing it. Maybe he wanted to let some time pass. Maybe that we figured that was his way of trying to, not intrude on grief. Could be. But again, New York City is watching. What it saw, among other things, was three presidents whooping it up in downtown Manhattan to the sounds of Lizzo and DJ whoever, and another president very solemnly and relatively quiet manner for Trump going out to Long Island to try and give comfort to a family. New York City is watching, and they're not going to forget what they saw. But that's what I think about it. What do you think? As we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please do so. Number two, hit the bell for notifications. I want to make sure you're always aware when new material is coming out, be it a live stream or another video. Number three, leave a comment below. Number four, please share the video around. And finally, give me a thumbs up. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I will see you next time.